happiness, as we said earlier today and countless times over the years, happiness is not something material and cannot be attained by material. Happiness is a spiritual status. It's either you're happy or you're not. When a person has knowledge of the Torah, knowledge of the mitzvot, and they're combining all of that knowledge with their actions, that in itself is going to make them happy, because their neshama will be fulfilled with what it needs and thereby feel happiness. And this is why the Yetzer Hara always tries to get a person to do a sin, not for the sake of the sin itself, but rather because of the results of the sin. Because what ends up happening is, once a person falls for a certain sin, let's call it immorality or whatever it is, they disrespect their parents, or they eat something non-kosher. Now immediately once they do that, now they have not only less mitzvot, or mitzvot they didn't fulfill, but they have a sin. And the Yetzer Hara now wants to keep that person in that mentality, where there's no point of doing a mitzvah, because you already sinned. There's no point of praying to Hashem now, because you're a sinner. There's no point of giving tzedakah. You're a sinner. There's no point of saying I'm sorry. You're a sinner. This is like the Christian mentality, where they tell you that you're not good enough to repent. You can't repent. You need some dead idol to pray for you, because you're a sinner, so you can't help yourself. This is the Satan himself. This is the Satan himself that tells you cannot help yourself. This is idolatry itself, that you can't help yourself. Because Torah says the exact opposite. Torah says you sinned, get up, do tshuva. That tshuva is a mitzvah in itself from one of the 613 mitzvot. And in fact, if you're going to do tshuva, you repent, you'll actually be higher than what you were before you didn't, before you made a mistake. But the Satan wants you to think that you're not good enough, or that you can't, or that it's too late to try again, too late to fix. Because Satan wants to keep you there. Because the longer you're there without tshuva, the longer you'll go without doing mitzvot. And the longer you go without doing mitzvot, the more miserable you'll become, the more depressed you'll come. And this is why you'll see that the Jewish people that are following the Torah, they spent all of their effort learning more and more Torah in order to do more and more mitzvot. And when somebody's interested in learning and somebody's interested in doing mitzvot, they'll do whatever they can to help that person. Because if somebody has been awakened to want the same thing, by all means. But they're never going to go. You're never going to find a rabbi go to a lecture by some priest and tell them, you are all worshiping an idol. No, you're never going to see that. But you will see the idol worshippers in every single one of my lectures making comments that they believe that Yoshke is God, or that the New Testament is real, and all types of other nonsense they say. Why? Because they see how excited we are about our Torah. They see how passionate we are about our Torah. They see how committed we are about the Torah, that we're willing to die for it, and we have died for it for the last 2,000 years from their evil hands, as well as from the Arab hands, the Muslim hands, that killed us simply because of our beliefs, and we're never going to give up Judaism. And they don't have that. So what do? They try to justify their beliefs, to silence their empty hole in their life, by telling us, listen, if you have to believe it too. You have to believe that Yoshke is God also. You have to believe that he's the Messiah. You have to believe all of this idolatry, because that's the truth. If that was the truth, you wouldn't be coming here to preach. You wouldn't be coming here to tell us that. You'd be busy doing it yourself. The reason why you're attending a lecture by a rabbi is because it's the only form of truth you've heard in your life. If there was truth where you came from, you'd be attending their lectures. That's why you're never going to see a Jewish scholar attending the lectures of the priests and the pastors. Why? Because it's complete nonsense. 99% of what they talk about is materialism, and the other percent is other forms of lies. Here on the other hand, we show you what the Torah actually told us. Things that you can learn from, things that you can apply to your life, things that actually show you immediate results in some cases. But certainly, things that connect you to the truth.